for Algebra 2, 5B-1. Let's start with number 7. I ran out of time in class, so I want to be sure and look at this. Okay, remember this line means divide. We're talking about complex fractions. So when you see this in the book, you might think, okay, that's the same thing as 2 over x divided by this fraction right here, x plus 3 over 4x. Remember how you divide fractions, because if you can remember this, you can actually skip this step right here. I'm good for that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you multiply by the reciprocal. So you need to flip it right here. Okay, so then you just look to see if anything cancels. And do you see anything that cancels? Usually Allison answers. But do you see right here these x's would cancel on the diagonal? So you should get 2 times 4 is 8 all over x plus 3. So that's your answer right there. Okay. Now let's try another one that's maybe a little bit more interesting. How about number 9? Okay. Notice this one's a little bit more complex because let's just focus on this one right now. Remember, to subtract these, we have to have a common denominator. And so since this guy has a denominator of a, this guy needs a denominator of a as well. So I'm just going to multiply the top and the bottom by a. So look what I've got right here. I've got 2a minus 3 all over a. Remember, when you have a common denominator, you can write it as one ugly fraction. Okay, I'm going to do that same thing here. This one has a denominator of a minus 1, so this one needs a denominator of a minus 1. And what you do on the bottom, I got to do it on the top. So I guess I'll squish him in right here for now. Okay, so look what I've got. I've got both the same denominator, so I can write it as one fraction. Oops, that's supposed to be a minus sign. So we got it 4a. Don't forget you're distributing this in, so it's going to be minus 4 plus 1. So let's write that out. I'm going to come down here. I've got 2a minus 3 all over a on the top. And on the bottom, I had what? Negative 4 plus 1, which is a negative 3. All over a minus 1. Okay, this is the same thing. Remember, you got this fraction divided by this fraction. So instead of dividing, remember how you divide fractions, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this. So and now it's going to be a minus 1 over 4a minus 3. And honestly, there is nothing here that cancels. You cannot cancel right here because remember, when these have a plus or minus sign, this is like a team. You can't break them apart. Now, go back. I'm trying to think. Here's number 7. I'm going to go back real quick and look at this. Do you see the difference right here when we canceled these out? Why could we cancel this one out? Notice that right here, this is 4 times x. So I can simplify right here, okay? But there's a subtraction sign between here, which means you can't break these two apart. They have to stay together. So nothing cancels. Same thing. This minus 3 cannot cancel. Okay, so really all you've got here is 2a minus 3. I'm going to put parentheses around that. A minus 1 all over a. And put him in parentheses because remember that's a team. 4a minus 3. That's fine, just to leave it like that. I think if you look in the answer to the book, they will probably go ahead and multiply. I'm good with this, but they will probably go ahead and multiply it all in. They're probably going to go like 2a times a is 2a squared. Then they're going to go 2a times negative 1 is negative 2a. And they're going to keep doing this, negative 3a plus 3 all over, and they're going to multiply this one in, 4a squared minus 3a. Okay, then they're going to add like terms right here, which is going to give you negative 5a, and that's going to be their final answer. You can do that if you want, but I am good for you just leaving it like this in factored form. I actually prefer it this way so that you can see what cancels and what doesn't. All right, how long? I want to do one more at least. So